Oh. Kasi
Kamusta
pagka
yung shooting mo kapon?
ayos lang, ayos lang.
Nanood ko nga yung video mo.
Thanks. So, ang senaryo,
Mm.
ikabit yung tatlong sensor,
Okay.
crankshaft, camshaft, and then oil pressure sensor, because that's the only cheapest way.
Okay.
Kasi hindi siya, sinaksakan natin ng computer last week.
Oo.
Hindi naman siya nag-throwing up ng mga faults.
Oo.
Fault code. So whether or not the sensor is bad, we just replace them just in case, because that's the only cheaper way to do it. And then if the engine doesn't like,
Walang pinagbago.
yeah, so then we're gonna open up the sump to monitor or to see the oil pump. Yeah, oil pump, because some of these model are oil pump belt drive.
Nakakabit or,
Yeah.
or chain, yeah.
Yeah,
Yan sabi mo
and
dati.
then chain drive or belt drive ang oil pump. We will see. Okay. So we'll begin with the sensor first, which is the cheaper way to do it.
Diyan ko nilagay sa likod yung ano yung
Yeah, okay. So guys, this is the engine or the car, Volkswagen 2012, that it doesn't start. So before in-start natin ito, nag-appear doon sa dashboard is oil pressure, no? So more or less whether or not the engine doesn't start because the oil pressure sensor is kind of fuck or bad oil pressure sensor, and then we buy oil pressure sensor as well, just in case. We're gonna change the oil pressure sensor because the engine doesn't start. So this is the oil pressure sensor here, and then we're gonna change it, and then after changing we will start the engine again. We will see if the engine cranking and it doesn't throw out the signal, which is low pressure oil. And since the engine won't start, so we better change also the crankshaft sensor. And this is also the camshaft sensor. So we will change them both sensors, like camshaft sensor, crankshaft sensor, and oil pressure sensor. We will see how the engine reacts, because I'm afraid that the oil pump belt or oil pump chain is snap. We will not know. I'm not sure. Either the chain or belt drive on the oil pump is snap, because some of the models here on the Volkswagen, the oil pump is belt drive, no? Oil pump is belt drive, and some of these things also are chain drive on the oil pump, and very tiny chain. So that's the worst scenario that we will do. We will investigate later on after when we change the three sensors, and then if the engine doesn't start, then that's the thing that we have to open up the oil sump to see what's the status on the oil pump, why it doesn't start, and why is it giving volts on the dashboard like oil pressure sensor. So that's the worst case scenario here to be like considered if the engine doesn't start. So first thing first, we're gonna change the oil pressure sensor. So the oil pressure sensor is located somewhere. It's very freaking hidden deep inside. So we're gonna dig up And location of the oil pressure sensor here. Normally it's it's within the area of the oil filter, no? Oil filter housing, somewhere there. But here, if you look deeper here, we couldn't see it in here, so we have to dig up under there. And to investigate where's the oil pressure sensor is, we're gonna open the engine cover or the engine tray, and then we will find out there underneath. But yeah, so we will do that. So here we are here already on the top, so we will install first the crankshaft sensor, which is somewhere located along the like the baseline on the what it is flywheel, no? So we have to remove here the airbox, and we have to locate the crankshaft sensor first. So to find out the location of the crankshaft sensor, we're gonna remove the airbox here completely, like so. We just put it on the side. And then we'll find out here now. God, it's a very tricky place to have a look. So ang malaking challenge nito mga kaibigan is yung crankshaft sensor is nandito banda sa loob ng kanyang bell housing, yung crankshaft sensor. So that is very big job because you need to bring down the gearbox or the bell housing to get access to the crankshaft sensor. And that is a very big job, major job actually. Okay, I'm gonna show you the location on it. It's here. We remove already the engine cover, and obviously I will show you with this flathead screwdriver. See here, this is the crankshaft sensor here that is mounted. There's a hole in here, and that is mounted into the like engine block or the inside. And the only thing to replace this crankshaft sensor is to bring down the gearbox or the bell housing. See this one here? So that's the crankshaft sensor, and to do that thing is a big job. Okay, oh god, and here's also leaking on the oil cooler system. Gasket's gone. Okay, so the coolant is leaking in here, as you can see. So the oil cooler gasket is gone. But our main scenario here is the crankshaft sensor. See these three wires here, the yellow, red and yellow green. So that's the crankshaft sensor. There's no way that we can change that one. Oh, of course there's a way, but we need to bring down the gearbox or the bell housing. Oh god, oh god, that's a really big job. Okay, so that's the number one thing. That's a big job thing to do. The location of the crankshaft sensor is on the bill housing itself. Okay. Oh god. So obviously the crankshaft sensor has the three wires, and that is falls to representing 3 pins as well. So this is the one here, 3 pins, which is the crankshaft sensor sitting down on the bill housing like that. And to replace this thing, we're gonna remove or bring down the gearbox or the bill housing, and that's very big job. God help us. Oh.